live. And look at who's on the TV. Nice. Hey, Matt, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I guess this is proof that neither of us is at GenCon. We shouldn't have gone live this week. It was a foolish thing to do. Or we should have done green screens with the convention hall behind us.
What are you talking about? This is all live from the Indianapolis Hilton.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I brought all my games. I mean, I wanted to make sure I had everything with me, so I had all my games shipped over. And other people's games. Mm-hmm.
We got a WotC booked us a suite.
And,
yeah. We're burning that sweet Hasbro dough.
Yeah, that new Ranger, the changes to the Ranger class are amazing. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Really like what WotC's doing with
I had no interest in the drinking a potion as a bonus action until that check arrived. Now I think it's the greatest thing to ever happen in tabletop role-playing.
Yes, it's revolutionary. In a word, revolutionary. What they've done, I think. Yeah. I hope that check makes it. I hope it doesn't get lost in the mail. Oh man, yeah, but video games. There's a lot of industries that are pretty corrupt. I mean, I guess I shouldn't go too far into that because that opens up the whole Gamergate, the Pandora's box. But I think a lot of industries have had trouble with legit reviews, and Tabletop is just getting the same treatment because now they've got some real big companies. When there wasn't a Hasbro, when it was just a TSR, you didn't have that kind of probably money to throw around, but Hasbro's got a lot more money to work with, and I'm sure there are people that are having delicious dinners at GenCon somewhere in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
but. But it's nice though. But there's such a diversity of people doing content and looking. So you're going to have a lot of people looking at these changes and looking at the system. So you get a good variety of opinions, and hopefully you'll be able to smell the ones that were paid off. And hopefully they're not your favorite voices. Hopefully it's not people you've trusted for a long time that couldn't resist. But
their names rhyme with Lenny C.
Uh-huh.
And no, sorry.
We're not gonna give any names. We're not rats. We're not gonna.
Maybe we should dye our hair and show more cleavage.
Yeah,
Jeremy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we would definitely. Yeah. Oh, you need money for the hair dye. I mean, the wardrobe and the hair is not cheap. It is not cheap. That's what I'm saying. So apologies for the big missing. Yeah, we went missing for a week. It's been a while since we had to skip a weekly, but family stuff came up, and we missed some Dune. We missed some weekly. I finally got back online for the cartoon stream, so that went up on the channel. If you're like, what's happening? When you saw me drawing cartoons, and so we're back at it. Should be normal, just very hot, and of course Chris's work is unpredictable as always. So they got a employee out, so Chris is covering. So we'll try to and the premiere of the new coffee maker. I should have had it on camera. So no more purchasing questionable coffee from questionable corporations. Now we're going to brew it ourselves. That was the big investment over the break. Is I'll just get a coffee maker, because especially in the heat, I have to run out and come back for the to get any coffee. But so that
sounds like we might be playing a little bit of a rogue Dune adventure tomorrow, right?
Oh yeah, this should be fun. Yeah. Terry is out. Terry's busy this weekend, so we'll give it a shot. Yeah, with the two original players, and see how it's going. Yeah, I've been listening to so much John Carter. I was like almost tempted to say, well, if it's just you two guys, do you want to go back to John Carter for a session? There's all kinds of fun stuff that game, that campaign like really opens up at the end. So there's like nice stuff set up that we can revisit, and there's so much stuff in those books. Like he had to, because it was serialized novels. He was just coming up with all kinds of craziness. So there's all kinds of secrets and technology and stuff to discover.
Probably getting paid by the letter or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, probably back in the day. But yeah, so we're all good. So if you had any gaming in my absence, did you guys get together and do any face-to-face stuff?
Since the last time we were on, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I guess we did have one Black Sword hack session. Yeah, that was cool. So it's a kind of an old school rules type game. They've just reached 5th level, which is, in that system, that sort of system, it's like halfway to max. And right. So they're feeling pretty powerful, and it's kind of funny because the thing with Black Sword Hack is, it has some tools in it for creating kind of a shtick for your world, and almost like Borg, they kind of want you to end the world.
Right.
And so they're just now getting to where they're starting to see behind the curtains as far as what's going to happen.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. What else have we done? I just did some board gaming other than that.
Cool. Yeah, I was hoping to rope my cousin into a game night, but yeah, it just didn't work out. We ran out of time. We're trying to get together one of these nights. Yeah, because I think he's played some D&D and played a lot of board games. Yep. So, yeah. So I was hoping, I had family here, but it didn't happen. Fate was against us, but but we'll get back to it. With some Dune, a little infiltration. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
I think I'm gonna need to go, since it's a different character, and Will's doing something he really should not be doing. Whatever the character I end up making is going to have to be a lot more just full on bad guy than Jack is.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if you want to take a look at any of like the pre-gen stuff in the back of the core book and use that as a basis, because it probably would be an experienced, character. So you could, base it on something, base it on like a Sardaukar if it's going to be a Moonfish, or do something like that, or just go through the you can go through the whole creation process if you want to do something. But I'll have some pre-gens that you can pick up too, if you don't have a chance before tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'll flip through the book and try to figure out something.
Okay.
Will was floating the idea. I mean, first he suggested a Moonfish, and I was like, okay, that's cool, but it'd have to be a more ethically challenged,
right? Yeah, somebody, yeah.
But then he was talking about maybe someone from the hospital, because Jack doesn't really mess around there. And then so that kind of got me thinking too. So yeah, I'll look around.
Okay.
Maybe a disgraced doctor type or something.
Oh, cool. Okay. Nice. Yeah, that was easily tempted by Kel saying, "Hey, how about some forbidden technology?" Nice. Hey, Rob, how's it going? Rob and Miguel and Calerion in the chat. Nice to see you guys.
Chris was in there.
Oh yeah, Chris stuck. Yeah, probably just. So I'm sure that's like the few minutes between kind of work sessions that Chris could jump on. Yeah, that sucks. Like not enough time to even walk over here. That's how like short notice that was for Chris. Crazy. Yeah. But yeah, everybody will be reporting live from GenCon.
Not us, but yeah.
Us. Yeah, we'll be sure to watch. Yeah, it was so funny. 2020 was going to be the year. I was going to make the journey, and something happened. I forget what, but yeah, something happened to the whole world. Nice.
It was fun. The one time I went, because Will and I went, and took my son with us, and it was fun. But some people kind of treat it like, going to see the Grateful Dead or something. Like they're gonna go. They're gonna go. No matter what.
Right.
And me, I'm like,
yeah.
Maybe in another 10 years or something.
Right. Yeah. If it's an opportunity to meet people, that you wouldn't have it, that they're flying in from Europe or whatever, people that you wouldn't normally get to interact with, that I think that would be the big incentive. But if it's, it's the scale of a San Diego Comic-Con and it's just overwhelming, the floor is going to be miserable. You're going to have to rely on, like making connections with people at booths and then getting drinks after or dinner or something, otherwise it's, but I'm sure everyone is so booked, they've only got a few days to get all the press and all the reveals and everything. So might be tricky.
Spend a lot of your time cupping your ear going, what?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And dodging giant backpacks. Oh my God.
Oh, I can't even imagine. Yeah. That really got to be a turnoff. The last year I did San Diego, the floor was impossible to even walk. Yeah, because people, they bring all these giant bags to like grab all of the exclusive stuff to get on eBay. They probably go that night and post it on eBay. They stand in a line for hours and get the exclusive, whatever. And that became a real. It was everybody's side hustle. It wasn't, for the love of the hobby. It was just, I can make some money. Oh, yeah, and I mentioned this on the cartooning stream. Did you see, this is San Diego Comic-Con related, did you see there were 14 human trafficking arrests made in San Diego after the Comic-Con, or like during the process of the Comic-Con?
No.
Yeah, so there were no details. The article just went into like what agencies in California were involved in it, because I guess it was like a sting. There were people that answered ads and posted false ads, so they got buyers and traffickers. And so that's nice. So I guess once Hollywood becomes involved in, your convention, human trafficking just, comes along for the ride. But that was amazing. Yeah, I never even knew that was a thing.
I watched a reel of trailers that were premiered there.
Oh, yeah.
Thoroughly unimpressed. I was like, is this it?
Right. Yeah, that was the Hall H stuff was not quite huge yet. The panels were smaller when I was back in the day when I was doing it, and celebrities would like walk the floors in San Diego. Like someone would have like hats and sunglasses on, but you could actually like have people like crazy famous people like walk up to your booth, which was a very different experience. Now with everyone with a smartphone and stuff, that's impossible. Everyone's got to have their handlers.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, should we do this?
Let's do this.
Yeah, Miguel says the cosplaying black market. Yeah, I wonder what all of that is. Of course, no details. I guess they want to keep their operation secret so they can do it again next year. Make some more arrests. All right. Let's get started this week. Welcome to the weekly. I'm Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm Matt.
Hey, Matt. So Chris can't be with us this week, and Matt was kind enough to pop up on the TV. I got the coaxial cable kind of rigged back. It's got some duct tape on it. It's fine. It'll hang in there.
Bang it a couple times on the side. It'd be
right. That's right. Yeah, the rabbit ears don't work anymore, but nice. And this week on the weekly, the Alchemy VTT Bundle on Humble Bundle, D&D VTT sometime this year, Pirate Borg is getting expansions, and WotC removes names or credits on D&D Beyond because they're just that kind of company. I guess it's been a long time since we've had the really bad news from them, so we needed to hear some more shenanigans. So let's get started with Humble Bundle is running their Immersive RPG Bundle for Alchemy. So we've used Alchemy in the past, and it's kind of in process. It's still not everything is complete. I think probably 5e is the most complete experience on it so far. It was how it was originally built. So if you like Freely games and you want to try a very immersive, very beautiful VTT that can be played either as theater of the mind or tactically on maps, then you should check out Alchemy. And this is quite a deal. So 50 RPG books for $30. And this is letting you in a little bit on how expensive these are to produce. That's $1,000 worth of content for the Alchemy platform. So they are giving you content for Tales from the Loop, Symbaroum, and Coriolis, and also Mutant Year Zero. And it's not just a little bit or a teaser or a quick start. It's almost everything for most of these games. So some of these books are just coming back into print. I think some of the Mutant Year Zero books, you can't get physical books as easily. They're coming back into print, but they've been sold out for a while. So a really nice themed UI elements, animated ambience, sounds, music, animation. So a lot of the really nice art from, and so Free League is a good match for Alchemy, I think, because they have really nice art assets. And then Alchemy works to do animation for them. So the grass is swaying, the capes are blowing, there's embers in the air if the village is burning, and some really nice immersive scenes to play. So yeah, and that also includes there's even Morkborg in there. Almost everything that Free League is doing, with some notable exceptions. So that will be rulebooks, adventures, and a lot more. For Vaesen is in there as well. So Vaesen, the 19th century Northern European horror game, and Dragonbane as well, the Swedish classic of Dragonbane, and then the alternate 80s era, the Tales from the Loop. So a lot of content for all of those games. So adventures, the core books for Symbaroum, it's both their original system and the 5e conversion. So lots of stuff. Twilight 2000 as well. So a ton of stuff. So notably missing is Alien, and that may be due to a licensing thing, because I think Alien was kept off of crowdfunding and stuff because of that. So there's 19 days left to get, and then they have their usual levels, so depending on what you're interested in. But for $30, that's a heck of a lot of content. Unfortunately, if you supported Alchemy during the crowdfunding, there's going to be a little overlap depending on what you chose. I think some of these things might already be in your library, but you will have codes for them, so that might be useful to get more people to try out the platform. But so expansion books, pre-made adventures, campaign books, lots of stuff. The bestiary for Forbidden Lands is in there. Yeah, Forbidden Lands as well, if I didn't mention that. Dragonbane and Forbidden Lands. Lots and lots of stuff. But Alien is missing. And maybe this email I received this morning, it will explain a little bit of why Alien is missing. Coming this fall, a second edition of the Alien RPG. Oh. Yeah, so 2E. New wave of 2E releases featuring a new core rules set, a new starter set, a new cinematic scenario set, and a miniatures line. So yeah, they did an okay job with Zone Wars. You can't see it it's behind the chat. The Zone Wars minis look decent. So yeah, they could do some decent Alien minis. I hope they don't go too deep into the miniature game. That's that's not an easy thing to make money on.
No diffies his book.
Yeah. So I hope that doesn't happen. Well, I guess with crowdfunding though, it's no loss. If there's interest, then you'll have the money for it. If there's not, then you won't. Paying for all that expensive casting. But yeah, so it's kind of interesting. So they said, so in their email, they said, based on the feedback of thousands of players over 5 years, it's only been 5 years. I don't think you need a second edition quite that fast, but it may have to do with an active license. So maybe they're kind of running out of source books. They might have only had a few more releases. So they're like, well, if we do a second edition, then we can extend the license, because this may be one of their more successful games that they're doing. So a second edition will do a streamlined version of the core rules, additional new artwork, new content, a variety of new tools for players and game mothers alike, and all fully compatible with previous releases and game material. So that's always a little tricky if they're going to do much of a redesign. If it's just minor tweaks, then that's possible. But yeah, if they eliminate any major mechanics, you're going to be crossing things out in your character sheets. A new starter set, redesigned with a perfect starting point for newcomers, and they're going to feature Hope's Last Day, the Hadley's Hope scenario, which I didn't think was as good as the Chariot of the Gods. I really liked Chariot of the Gods. I thought that was a good starting adventure, and it kind of ramped up well and had a kind of Event Horizon feel to it. I like that part of it, because there was some nice horror elements that weren't Xeno related. So yeah, they're going with the Hadley's Hope, and there'll be a new cinematic box scenario called Rapture Protocol. Then that'll be written by Jonathan Hicks and of course Free League's Tomas Herrenström, and we'll go back to the root of the Alien franchise. So you'll be playing a small crew of on a star freighter on a resupply mission. And then the miniatures will support the Rapture Protocol. So maybe the pre-gens in Rapture Protocol will be represented with miniatures as well. But I don't think it's not that important. I mean, maybe it'll be crawling a map with miniatures may be interesting, and you can have little blips. You can have little markers for blips and things, which I think that they already do. They have tokens for what could be an alien. So maybe the miniatures can replace your token set from the original boxes. But yeah, so that was a real surprise. So that'll be out this fall on Kickstarter. I put a link to the preview page so you can sign up, and they'll yell at you when that goes live. So yeah, it's kind of a two, I guess 3 products, right? They're going to do a core book, a box starter set, and then a boxed adventure, the cinematic adventure. So I'm curious, if how that's gonna go. Because
the Humble Bundle. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, it just seems a little soon. What do you think about the timing for a 2E? Do you think Alien need fixing?
No, well, I don't know. I haven't played it, but someone won't run it for us. But I think you're probably in the right area, thinking they're just trying to keep the license active, because I've been playing Free League games for 4 or 5 years now, and this is the first second edition of anything I've heard about. Like, they didn't do a second edition of Forbidden Lands, and that's one of their older titles now,
right?
And, they didn't do a second edition. Well, I don't know. There's been different versions of Mutant. I don't know if that counts.
Oh, right. Yeah, I don't know if mechanics did change a little. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But what's the other one? There's not a second edition. So I think you might be onto something. I was also occurred to me, and I went in their website while you were talking just to make sure I'm not crazy. But the Walking Dead game is out and available for sale. And it's not in this, right?
No, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So it's probably it is probably the reason, going back to the Humble Bundle.
Yeah.
It's probably either of those are probably in there because of licensing.
Yeah, the terms.
And I think you're right about the second edition. That makes a lot of sense. But going back to the Humble Bundle, that's a great deal. Like, when does it end?
I think we've got it was 19 days of this article, maybe 10. There's 10 or 11 days left now.
Yeah, I'm probably going to try to finagle buying that, I think, because that's just a ton of stuff. And Alchemy is great. I do feel like every time we bring this up, I just got to point out that they're not done with any of these modules yet. They're all works in progress.
Right.
So you'll get it. You'll get the rules, and you'll get some cool assets and stuff. And it's the system itself is cool. But if you want to customize, they're not really there yet. You can do your own custom game and do it as you like. It's just you're going to have to do all the hard work with the graphics and the fonts, and your character sheets aren't going to look quite as cool as the official pre-made character sheets. But I'm hoping that eventually they're going to get to the point where they've got it all caught up, and you can just open up one of those pre-made character sheets for a pre-gen character and just edit it and turn it into a generic character sheet that anybody can modify.
Yeah.
But they're not there yet, and Just want to point that out.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's kind of a word of caution. This is early access basically, but you're getting what will be nice finished modules and things eventually for a really good price. Yeah, because if you take a look at the prices from the store, I don't think there's anything that costs $30. I think most of them individually are more than $30. So to get almost everything that Free League, and their own original properties, so all of the original Free League properties for that price is good with with the art assets and everything, and Morkborg as well. Yeah. So that's a worth taking a look at, and so we'll probably have some duplicate codes between the two of us, but should be good. So that's right, and also Free League also has coming up probably before the Alien Second Edition, the Electric State will get a retail release, and the Coriolis, the Great Dark, is going to probably be out. So they're busy. They are busy, and I'm sure they're at GenCon right now, having some meetings. All right. Well, there was an earnings call. The great CEO of Hasbro, Chris Cox, said to investors, the new VTT by Dungeons & Dragons will be in gamers' hands later this year. And the quote was, the VTT is a 3D role-playing sandbox experience. So that was a quote. And so maybe if you are at GenCon and around the WotC booth, there is some kind of demo or some kind of, maybe I don't know if it's a press demo or if it's just a visitor demo, but some kind of test that you can play, a demo or a beta kind of version that you can actually, put your hands on. And they are saying that this is going to be available for desktop, tablet, so PC, console, and mobile. So it's Unreal Engine 5, so that sounds possible. I don't know what console they're talking about. Steam Deck? I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see how people will be playing this.
That one might be a little overreach.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Right. Yes, and of course, well, Matt, I know that you're excited about this because you've pre-ordered your Player's Handbook, right? Coming out in September. Because when you pre-order the Player's Handbook from some source, I don't know if it's the WotC store or where, your pre-order bonus is a virtual miniature of a gold dragon that will be usable in this VTT whenever it comes out. So there you go, a gold dragon, a virtual one.
Now, I was going to drive to Southern California and wait outside Orcus Dorcas's door. Because when he gets back from Gen Con, I'll just smack him and take the free Player's Handbook he got at Gen Con.
Nice. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, just wait in the bushes. wait in the bushes. Nice. Yes, so and Cox did also say that Wizards of the Coast is the golden goose in Hasbro's portfolio. So Wizards had a growth of about 20% in their quarter after quarter, with of course Magic and licensed digital games being the big money earners, as we already knew. And they are saying they're seeing solid pre-orders of the core rulebooks for the Advised and Expanded 5th edition. So and we already know that they've got creepy plans to digitize everything and make it they hired a digital. I got to manage, digital sales and everything. So it's going to get weird, I think, for third-party people and everything. But they are looking to increase digitization across their portfolio. Great.
They have been trying to manage this news the last week or so. Like it's become very clear that they've issued bullet points like Fox News style to all their paid and unpaid fan people that they will never, that D&D is a tabletop game. We will never leave the tabletop sector.
Damage.
And it's hilarious on Threads because you see like people saying almost the same thing the way kind of Fox News pundits do sometimes. It's like, oh, you guys just got bullet points. Okay. This is stupid.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess they want to make sure that because they're trying to get people to pre-order physical books, and if they're like, well, why do I want to buy a book? You're just going digital anyhow. And that's the that sounds interesting thing. So we'll get into that. So yeah, they're going to be so now whatever this thing is that WotC is going to release is going to be up against Roll20, which now has full Discord integration. Fantasy Grounds, and like we previously mentioned, Alchemy, which is already working on 5e. It already works well on 5e. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's going to be hard to, and especially if you're already there, if your group already knows the platform, they're already comfortable with it, you've got your connectivity working, why switch? Like they're really going to have big reasons to kind of lure you in. It's like you're going to get stuff nobody else can have, some kind of exclusive content or something to really get you to. And I think we heard talk of that before, that they might have some subscription levels that will give you, they'll unlock subclasses, or they'll be doing things to try to make you feel like you're super special for subscribing. But but as they move to this digitization, another story came out that said, yes, they we'll touch on that at the end. But they're not treating the people that are working on these digital assets very well. But before we get to that, what is this new version called? So we still aren't hearing exactly. They're calling it the 2024 revision, even though the third book isn't out until 2025. But third parties are already starting to label it 5.5 because people need to know what the hell's going on. People when they're releasing their third party stuff, they're like, well, is this for what is this for? Is this for the changes? Is everything in your background and you're calling everything species now, and there's no half race or half species? Half species. So what are you doing? And so already the third parties are calling it 5.5. So they really did not do a good job with kind of branding this, and just I guess their fear of splitting a player base or causing confusion, maybe like 3.5 did. I guess that was a concern because the transition from third edition to 3.5 caused some confusion because there was no clear identifiers between the two editions. Everything. Everything just came out as the recent version, but you don't know if it had been sitting on the shelf for a while, how compatible it was. But WotC is insisting that this new revision is completely backwards compatible. So we'll see. And focusing what's that?
It just occurred to me that if they really wanted to put maximum emphasis on this new VTT of theirs, mm-hmm. and not have to deal as much with the competition from Roll20 and everybody, Foundry, Alchemy, whatever, they would have named it 6th edition, mm-hmm. like manned up and called it 6th edition, mm-hmm. and radically changed it, mm-hmm. right? Like mechanically it's make fundamental changes, and then they would have the head start on their VTT for using this new system. Mm-hmm. But they chickened out. Right. And, I mean, it's better for people that like playing D&D that they did chicken out. Mm-hmm. But I'm just thinking from their robber baron perspective, they should have just gone all in and nope, it's 6th edition and it's all like die 12s now, or you know what I mean? Like they should have
throwing those handfuls of D4s on the table. I can't wait for
that.
Yeah. So I wonder, and maybe they were just afraid that not as enough people would come with them on that, so they're trying to transition stuff. But it seems so sloppy. And they also, when they're talking about this 5.5 in this article, they mentioned that it was pretty rushed. And I think a few reviews have even said that, talking about the new player's handbook. It seems a little rushed. There's some stuff that's completely untouched, and that could have probably used some things that were broken didn't get fixed in this new revision. Mm-hmm. And it's not clear, though, because if this move towards digitization, that just could mean that they want it to become more like software, and that's kind of what the Adobe platform is doing. They're trying to release updates and new features in different their software applications so quickly that you stay subscribed. There's always something being updated. So if they're making little rules changes in the digital version, but then it's gonna leave these. So kind of like what Games Workshop is experiencing. I think with the 10th edition of 40K, basically the rules that as printed are unplayable because they had to make so many changes like right away. Like the rule set that they released, that book is not even usable because they FAQ'd and errated so much stuff. So that WotC's going to be in that same situation where if they change too much, then it's like, why did I pre-order this book? Why do I have this physical book? There's nothing, there's too many small edits in it. So we'll see. And they will probably have to clarify what's going on so people can clearly, and maybe this is also a way that to deny third parties a piece of the pie, the same piece of the pie that they had. By making it confusing, it's going to be hard for third parties to say, what does this work with? And everything that's not kind of the extras that's coming out on the player's handbook and the Dungeon Master's Guide is going to be Creative Commons. If you just wait long enough, it's going to all be in the SRD. So yeah, it's hard to that was another odd part of the reviews. Some people were saying, yeah, if you don't really need this stuff right now, just wait, it's free. It's going to be free to use. So unless you need all the cheesy art in this book, all the starry-eyed player characters looking up at the heavens or baking scones or whatever they're doing.
Very happy orcs.
Yes, everyone's smiling. That's what I like. Forget all this grim dark. It's so depressing. The world ending. It's fantasy. It's fun. It's colorful. Everybody just embrace each other. I think the role to embrace, I think, is what we're going to be saying. So that's where WotC is. But let's put all that behind us because we have 2 new expansions for Pirate Borg coming out. So this is something I thought I saw. Maybe it's just Morkborg, but I thought I saw some Pirate Borg in that Alchemy bundle as well. I'll have to double check. But this is something I think we have to play. It sounds really fun. So Limithron, the creators of Pirate Borg, have confirmed 2 new expansions are coming out, and they'll be crowdfunding them both September 17th. So the 2 books are Cabin Fever and Down Among the Dead. And then they'll also be releasing, so these will be hardcover editions, collectible items, stuff to support what's going on. Just get in on the fun. So maybe stuff that they didn't get a chance to do with the first, because they didn't quite know how successful they were going to be. So Cabin Fever is going to be 144 plus pages, and it's going to include GM resources and new character content. Down Among the Dead will be 3 new adventures, modular rule sets, and a floating sea of skeletal sea life. So yeah, they've already announced several new additions to things that they've been adding to Pirate Borg, and so this is a reveal of kind of things collected. And of course, because it will be crowdfunding, they'll also include things like GM screens, original dice sets, custom coins, and ship combat tokens. So all of these things, all of these items that have been frequently requested by players, they'll now get a chance to do with some crowdfunding. So originally, Cabin Fever was designed by Known Conspirators, a third-party community during the Cabin Fever itch.io jam. So Cabin Fever is now collected in this book. It's a smorgasbord of content from different creators, all kind of smorgasbord assembled by the Limithron team. And Down Among the Dead was something that the creator, Luke Stratton, was saying that while hard at work on my setting book, The Dark Caribbean, I found that it was getting too big. So I relocated some of the content, and Down Among the Dead was born. So that's Limithron's owner, Luke Stratton, said, this also gave me a place to include some ideas I've had for Pirate Borg, like optional house rules, PC motivations during the apocalypse, and new PC classes or a new PC class or 2. So the book will be 3 short-form Pirate Borg adventures. My personal favorite is Lost in the Locker, a post-TPK romp into purgatory that involves stealing obols from Charon. Yes, a ball at an eternally burning palace, and a floating sea of skeletal life. Yes, and a giant tentacled lionfish to eat dead pirates for breakfast. Nice. So yeah, a lot of fun creativity. Oh, and in case you're wondering, why did they choose September 17th? Because that's Talk Like a Pirate Day. Oh
Oh,
no.
okay.
So yeah, just in time so you can talk like a pirate at your table. But yeah, that's fun. I'm glad that game's still getting support, and I'm really surprised it's doing well. We had a fun kind of pirate themed 5e campaign that was probably the most fun that 5e could ever be.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's definitely a fun for fantasy RPGs. It's a fun theme. So what do you think? Are we going to try some Pirate Borg?
I would love to. I'm getting a little concerned because our pile of games to try is so big.
Yes.
And Pirate Borg, I feel like might be slipping and like, oh no,
right.
we better play this before we forget it exists.
Yeah, before Alien Second Edition comes out. Yeah, right.
I love that too. I love that the whole thing with Mork Borg, that the Pirate Borg people, correct me if I'm wrong, were totally different people.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because the Morkborg people are like, yeah, make stuff for this game. We don't care. Cool. And they did, and it was successful.
Mm-hmm,
and so now you have people making adventures for it on itch.
Yes,
That's
yes.
that's so awesome. It feels that kind of like philosophy and ethic is just so refreshing when compared to, the monoliths of WotC, Hasbro, GW, etc.
No, that's true. The generous license that Morkborg has, and basically, so there's like over 1,000 pieces of additional content, adventures, and house rules kind of things on itch.io just for Morkborg. So yeah, that's great. And they actually had a game jam, for Cabin Fever, their Cabin Fever jam. So these guys took the opportunity to, I guess that was probably during the pandemic, right? So they took the opportunity to. Do some more content. Yeah, so that is good. It's really good to see that, and it's nice that there is a platform where that's available. Unfortunately, like when there's so many people making so much content, you do need, kind of ways to aggregate it, or ways to you can't read through 1,000 pages of content.
And that's where like a YouTube reviewer who's not paid to do this stuff,
right
is actually really valuable. Like what's his name, we were just talking about him before we came on, Seth Skorkowski. A lot of his content is just reviews of traveler adventures, Cthulhu adventures, and cult adventures. And that's really cool. Not always something I'm going to watch. Usually it would be if I'm interested in that specific adventure.
Right.
But to know that that's there, there's this detailed breakdown. Super cool. Like, and that is so much better than the guy who gets sent the player's handbook by WotC and just wants diffuse about it.
Right. Just kind of crap something out within a week because there's trying to get it out right as the moratorium is lifted. There's a I think Wasabi Burger is a creator on YouTube that loves Dungeon Crawl Classics, so he reviews a lot of the adventures for that, and that's a great thing to see. Somebody that's passionate about running the game, loves the game, and says, these are my favorite, this would be my my recommended funnel to use, this is my recommended 1 to 3, level 1 to 3. So I really like to see passionate people kind of give their opinion, and since you kind of know where he's coming from, what he likes about the game, then you'll know why he likes certain adventures over others. And I think that's great. Good that we have those assets, and it's not all pay to play reviews. Nice. All right, well, we'll end it on a sad note. We got to pile on WotC one more time. So in their move to digitization of their portfolio, whatever their all their revenue, they have decided to remove the digital content team's credits. So this is a story that we kind of missed last week, that just kind of broke last week. So the credits for the D&D Beyond team are totally gone, and it was a compromise. They were on a page on the website, and but I think in the digital books as well, like whatever they worked on, and they're just completely gone. This was a compromise because they were supposed to be credited in the physical books because, you know, the kind of integration of these things, this content will appear in digital form and print form. But they said, we can't, we don't have the space. We're not going to print your names in the book. So no physical credits in the books for people that worked on the online platform, and now no virtual credits either, no digital credits. So according to Faith Elizabeth Lilly, she was a contributor for, as we just worked on the team, the digital team for Wizards of the Coast. All of the credits have been removed from D&D Beyond. So her team was responsible for content, feedback, and implementation of the book content. So they were told the compromise was they would not be included in physical credits in the physical book for space reasons, but they agreed that they will be included online. They're gone now. So yeah, they don't want anybody to have any credit for whatever is being done with D&D Beyond. So a quote from her. So she said, "While I was at Wizards, so after D&D Beyond was purchased, with numerous books, my digital content team and I worked directly with the book team on the content. So we read through the rule drafts, suggesting changes, giving ideas, and catching issues. So we had a full database of the content and understood exactly how it interacted. So given that we were contributing contents to the book, and I feel it was a reasonable request that we be added to the credits. So I feel strongly anyone actually contributing to what was in the printed book should be credited through. So we agreed to compromise that we would just have digital credits, and so the team would have be added to a credits page on D&D Beyond only, as there was no issue with not enough space, on a web page. But those credits are now gone. And nobody, she said, nobody reached out to let her know, and said, "I'm not angry or upset, just, again, really disappointed." So really disappointing Wizards on a really disappointing coast. That's too bad. Yeah, so they talked about that. They were very much involved in the process because the lead designers would send them the rules. They give them feedback, highlight like potential balance issues, and really like be involved, kind of like a first read of a lot of these rules implementations before they, got posted on D&D Beyond. So they suggest tweaks to improve things and also, kind of get them working digitally as well as possible. So the fact that they're not included at all is a shame. But they did, talk about have had better experiences with other publishers. So Cortex Prime, and Tales of Zadia have credited everybody, even so the entire development team, including developers and even community managers, are all credited, even though some of their contributions are only digital. So yeah, there's better places to work. In other words. Not as high profile, I guess, but so we can reset that board, incidences, days since the last WotC incident. We'll have to get that board and just reset it back to 0.
I don't want to get you a copyright strike, but I just thought of a new little bumper you could use.
Oh yeah.
Was it 16 Candles? A Getty Watanabe. He plays. Was it Long Duck Dong?
Right.
And there's that one scene where he's saying disappointed. He's just like disappointed.
Nice.
Should play that before we talk about Wizards.
Every time. Wizards.
That's so dumb. Like, I have multiple core rule books for RPGs that have extra pages in them just for the Kickstarter backers.
Yeah, right.
And they can't do this for people who actually did work for them. Like, that's really bad. And then the compromise, we'll do it on the digital ones. So the argument against cost or production or whatever is minimal at best, but I guess is technically factual on the printed material. But for the digital one, what's the argument? Like, it's digital. It's just floating in the ether. How could you? Some lawyer told him this is the way to go. I mean, that's all I can see with that.
Well, yeah, my really negative thinking and like experience with like being credited for stuff is this is a way So they said they can claim, yeah, I worked on the player's handbook or I worked on D&D Beyond, and you have no proof. You can't point a future employer, and you have no portfolio basically from anything you've done for Wizards, because you can't point to anybody with the credits that you have for your work. So you're not going to be leaving WotC anytime soon, because you can't show a new employer what you did in the past, what projects you were involved in. And these are, large scale, big budget projects. So they would probably easily be able to get, smaller publishers and indie jobs in much happier situations. But WotC is just going to make that as hard as possible.
That's really bad.
Yeah, I think that really, really does suck. But I think you're right. I'm sure it was a combination of a lawyer, and they're like, yeah, why do we want to build these people's, portfolios and resumes? We just want them to, slave away on D&D Beyond for until they can't do it anymore. But one last little piece of WotC news. Dark Horse Comics announced that they have a licensing deal now. So they're going to do new comics based on D&D and Magic the Gathering, because we know how great those are. Anybody that's read a Magic the Gathering novel knows that that's some quality stuff. So they've already collaborated in the late 90s with a Magic the Gathering Gerard's Quest. And of course, they more recently did the Stranger Things. Dark Horse, I guess, was responsible for publishing the Stranger Things and D&D mini series of comics. So this will be graphic novels, art books, and more. So yeah, they in this press release is a big list of people at Dark Horse saying, "Oh, we're so excited to be working with D&D again. It's so wonderful." But remember, Dark Horse is currently owned by Embracer Group. So Dark Horse is, I guess, part of the Middle Earth Enterprises and Friends company now.
When they is that the one that they got put on? Okay.
Yeah, that's just like your and Friends and the Red. You're the Professor and Marianne and all those guys. So they just like added them to that company. And so if you don't know, so Dark Horse's probably their biggest title was Hellboy that they published for a while. And they've done Star Wars and a lot of licensed IPs. And they've also done Cyberpunk, Dragon Age, Mass Effect, Tomb Raider, The Witcher, Assassin's Creed, Halo. All probably not really worth reading, but their experience with licensed properties. I think that was like how they survived the 90s, basically, is a lot of licensed books. And they have published the officially licensed Critical Role comics, and so they're getting this license from previously IDW was working with them working with WotC to publish Stranger Things D&D. I guess that was the box set maybe. And so that's it. That's it for WotC news. So yeah, Dark Horse is getting entangled with them. So more great
Careful,
content.
Dark Horse. Careful.
Yeah. No credits on comic books though. There's going to be no credit pages on these comics. Yeah, that's the one thing. Yeah, that's not good. Comics need their credits, so we'll see see how that goes. All right, so that is going to do it for this week. So where can people find you, Matt?
I am on Instagram and Threads. It's at Hargald, HAARGALD. Also doing a Substack, which is hargaldblog.substack.com, I think is what it is.
Nice. I'll make sure I get a link in the description.
Writing different series of articles, mostly tailored to game design and game masters, but all pretty much role play specific, and trying to look at things that inspire that you can take from other art, like film, television, literature, illustration, that kind of thing.
Right.
And yeah, having fun. The first article of every series is free.
Nice. Yes, first one's always free. You got to get them hooked, and they're beautifully illustrated. From what I've seen, I mean,
I would say that they've got some cool art. In fact, the last article was just about artists I've worked with.
Oh, so, excellent.
Yeah, so check it out if you want. How about you?
So I just did the August live stream for my cartoon. So Abuse Cartoons on YouTube and Twitch. And you can watch me draw a month. So 9 cartoons on a live stream now. So kind of making it more worthwhile. And I took a lot of snack breaks. So there were a lot of interesting things from the convenience store. And so if you want to read that cartoon, there's 20 years of it on GoComics. So gocomics.com/domestic abuse. And if you like what we're doing here on the weekly, consider becoming a weekling. So you can do that by going to patreon.com/upturntable and pledge at that tier or any tier, and just let us know what you want to, what we'd like to see more of on the channel. If you're enjoying the actual plays, if you want more lore videos, if you want more reviews, unboxings, what is actually the content that you look for on the channel, because it's quite a mixed bag at this point. Lots of variation. So let us know. And upturntable.com is the website, and on all social media. And so we'll be going live with a stream. We'll probably be crawling the tunnels of the planet Ix underneath the surface with the suboids. So you'll get to meet a very horribly enslaved race of worker class that House Vernius doesn't talk much about, but. So yeah, it should be a little bit different. So we're down one player, so we're going to do a little maybe infiltration kind of sneaking around, and so tune in for that. And the last session of our John Carter Adventures on the Dying World of Barsoom RPG campaign, the Shadows, or was it the Phantoms of Mars? That is going up tonight, so you can see that, listen to that as well. So I think that's another pretty full session. So 3 hours. We thought we were only going to do 10, but we stretched it to 11. So we got lots of John Carter, and that was our first 2d20, and very different, from what we did. Different from Star Trek and a lot of the other games, but fun stuff. So check that out. There's a playlist for that as well. And I think I've had some people asking in the comments for just audio only version. So I think I'll probably put that on the RSS feed. So, or like at least on the website, so that it goes out. It's out on Spotify and Apple podcasts and every place to listen to as well. I just didn't want to clutter the feed with too much stuff, but I think if I make them into bigger pieces, you can just skip the download if you don't like to listen to actual plays. So that will do it for this week. We will be back again next week, and thank you again, Matt, for helping out on the TV.
You bet.
And see you again soon.
Bye.
Goodbye. All right. So we are back to take a look at the chat. Yeah, so just complaining about board games. Yeah. So I'm a real fan of I really like like Ameritrash, lots of plastic, lots of colorful cardboard. Yeah, I'm a big Ameritrash board game fan. So yeah.
Did you play the old Game Master series, Milton Bradley games from the 80s back in the day?
Oh,
so the one everyone knows is Axis and Allies.
Yeah. No, I had Axis and Allies. And I had Broadsides and Boarding Parties. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then there was Shogun, which got renamed a million times because of licensing or whatever. And there was a Roman one. Something about conquering the world. I can't remember what it's called. It was like an ancient Rome one. Those are great, and they are very Ameritrashy. There's a very much a dice chucking, moving dudes around on the board thing going on there. But they're fun. They're fun.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with the Kaman, that series that Eric M. Lang did for them.
Oh, like the Viking one.
Yeah, Blood Rage and Rising Sun. Yeah, we kind of lost momentum. So by the time he did the Egypt, I forget what the Egyptian one was named. Yeah, I was just like, I don't need another 50 pounds of cardboard and plastic. But those are really fun. Yeah, they did a good job. They're very playable and they've got great components. And when they do the crowdfunding, they can, raise the level of all the components. It's not just cardboard tokens. There's lots of nice stuff. Good stuff. But so how are all these non-GenCon attendees doing in the chat? Nice.
What? They're not all watching the stream from their hotel?
They're probably on their phones in the hotel. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I wonder when we're going to get our first bad piece of press about the new executive producer of D&D. I think I saw on social media they were posting who it was. She's she came from Magic. I think she was like pretty heavily involved in Magic, so she's been with WotC for a bit. So hopefully she knows how to navigate.
Their new set that they're pushing.
Oh no!
They just ripped off a Red Wall and Mouse Guard. Basically, it's just all cutesy medieval animals.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Cutesy medieval anthropomorphic animals.
Right. Of course. Yeah, got to get cozy. So Magic gets cozy. Get the cozy set. Yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, I saw the one of the reviews. People were kind of disappointed. There was some Magic the Gathering art in the new D&D books. So
like it recycled some Magic art.
Yeah,
weak.
Yeah, so that's like okay. Oh, I guess you paid for it, and it was only reproduced like this. So yeah, it gets a quarter page or something. Yeah, I guess that's nice, but
ethically slightly better than using AI art.
Yeah, right. So. Slightly. Yeah, that's true. Yes, some good Rob says, if I abandon OSR and the OSR and alternative RPG world for the 6E VTT, will you still talk to me? Uh-oh. Rob's going to become the mouth of Hasbro. I speak for Hasbro. Yeah, I wonder.
You're gonna need pink hair and tight shirts.
Yeah, that's true. We need to see some cleavage, or we're not paying attention. Yeah.
Oh, I have a prediction. Oh, since this is something that's gonna get archived, we can go back and
nice. Okay.
Check later. I predict that after GenCon, Professor Dungeon Master does a video where he does a complete 180.
Oh.
Back to being pro Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah.
Talking about how his eyes have been opened. It's a great new addition and blah, blah, blah. I guarantee that is coming.
Yeah. and he'll polish his 100,000 subscriber plaque, behind him and everything. Because when during the OGL thing, when he kind of abandoned, he says like, I'm not talking about D&D anymore, but I'm definitely glad I got to 100,000 subscribers before I stopped, because that was his bread and butter. So he'll be going back. Everyone will be lured back, to the complaining.
Yeah, because think about it. Right now, he's probably being made to feel super cool at GenCon by these WotC people. So yeah, it's so sad, so sad. But half of our Gray Noise group is there right now.
Yeah.
And so when we finally get around to doing another one of those, we can hear from Nathan and Scott, aka Orcus Dorcas, about the stuff they do. I trust them to actually look beyond the big names and look at other stuff. So
yeah,
that could be cool to talk about.
Oh yeah, definitely. And kind of what it's like and how hard it is to find not big name stuff, because I'm sure between Modifius, Free League, and WotC, they got those are some pretty big appearances. They probably got some pretty big presence there. Yeah. So because that was the nice thing. I think it's probably changed, or it's probably been squeezed to an even smaller thing, but they had a small press area always at San Diego Comic-Con, and actually the small press shows were much better shows to do if you weren't working for Marvel or DC, because you got to interact with people a lot more, and there's just more time and more space and less crowds and autograph seekers and sketch seekers, like commission seekers as well. But that's the thing that's a shame. It's a good source of income for comic book artists and stuff to do commissioned sketches, but then they're booked. They're basically like busy. They're like going at it with their markers and pens the whole time, and you talk to them while they're drawing is basically all you can do. You can't get much good can't get quality time. But it's just the thing. So I really don't know what to expect by the end of this year. We've got a lot of big question marks hanging in the air for America and its tabletop as well. So we'll see. I can't imagine it's going to go well, but if they throw enough money at it, it's amazing like how things that aren't very good, when they're over marketed, when they've got such saturation, when you're seeing, we're going to start seeing ads everywhere for this VTT on, every social media platform. We're just going to be probably inundated with whatever they're calling this. They got to really get their naming stuff right though, because, if they're just saying, play Dungeons and Dragons, click here. They got to make it seem like something.
Feels like they're afraid to pull the trigger and make a decision, and they're just trying to live in two different worlds.
They want to. We've had 10 years. We've been riding this wave for 10 years. Let's not fuck it up. Yeah, and that's why kind of the small changes, the small kind of like we're not pissing anybody off, are we? Yeah. Oh yeah, Miguel asked about Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. What did you think about that Comic-Con reveal? He's coming back, putting a mask back on.
It's cute. I think it's funny that some people have invested so much of their personal sense of worth into that Marvel stuff. That they're hurt that he is coming back. That they're like really upset that the actor who died as a character is going to play a different character.
Well, I can't believe it. Yeah. It'll be. I wonder what storyline they're going to go with. I wonder what they're going to do. And the Russo brothers are also coming back too. But the Russo brothers have not done anything decent since their Marvel work. I think since Endgame, the Russo brothers have sucked as bad. They've been incredibly overpaid, and they've done things for Netflix and Amazon and stuff, but it's all been garbage. It's been really bad stuff. So they're not amazing, on their own, given given unlimited budgets and whatever they want to do. They're not amazing. So they definitely flourished, I guess, under Disney's crushing executives on the set, all the time. They flourished there because they you know, it had a different take on what was already that kind of like boring thing that was already being done. But I don't know. I don't see this as those are got to be amazing paychecks, though. I hope we get to hear how many zeros are in those paychecks.
Oh yeah. I'm sure the truckload of money was like a double order this time.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, okay, I'll do it. Yeah, because now it's just become you're just standing, in front of a green screen, or standing in front of one of those projection screens with a motion capture suit on, because they put your costume on digitally, they put your helmet on digitally, and you're just like you're a floating head basically that they're photographing, and a voice that they're recording. So it's just a little bit harder than voice acting is about all the Marvel movies are now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was watching somebody dissected like the whole evolution of the MCU, and how I think it was like one of those kind of shit show channels that talk about what a mess, and they said that those movies, like, they started just making those movies without scripts, and basically I think that's why things got so strange, especially after Endgame, because they would just say, okay, we've already shot all the effects, don't worry about any of that, just direct the character stuff, and we don't have a script yet, so just kind of make it up. It's like, wait, what am I doing?
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's like the last Thor, with Love and Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Taika Waititi didn't really want to do it, and you can tell that he was just like, I'm just going to make it wacky.
Yeah, right.
But then they just handed him notes. So like, this character has to be in it. This character has to be in it. And so he's like, okay, wacky, but stop and put this person in. Wacky, stop and put this person in.
Right.
It's kind of like, I don't know if you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, but they don't use real scripts either.
They it's kind of an outline.
Kind of outline, plot point kind of thing. They kind of just like tell the actors what we need to achieve in this scene, kind of thing. It's like that, but shitty.
Yeah, right. Yeah, people that can't improvise or don't work well together, so they can't come up with anything. Yeah, it's really weird how and also the especially that Thor movie with like, okay, well, she's dying of cancer, but it's pretty funny, right? It's all crazy, and it's okay, we got to stop cancer moment. Okay, now we're going to go back to the crazy.
Yeah. And actually, I don't know if you ever watched Red Letter Media, but they did a great comparison of that, how that got handled versus how James Gunn, his whole style is to have like a dramatic moment, but then cut it with something funny. And he's just so much better at that than Taika Waititi was in that movie. And it's just like,
it's funny too. And I wonder if that's something that the global market, that works well in the global market, because if you watch Indian films, or both Japanese and Korean films are really famous for that, like a real, teeth rattling, like, tone change, but they do it for specific reasons. There's like, it's really well motivated. And I like if you've read, Japanese manga or anime, that this kind of trope. And so when they do live action versions of that stuff, that comes across a lot. Well, you have this super cool character that's just like, oh my God, he's the coolest guy ever. And he's amazing with a gun. And he's a super spy, super cop, whatever he is, and then he's like on stage in bikini briefs, like doing some little wacky performance. Like they'll specifically like undermine that as a funny tone change, because they know that making a character so super cool is like, you can't believe that. So it's like almost relieving the tension of like how fake and over the top the coolness of this character is, the kind of the superficialness of the characters. And so it kind of, without having to do a lot of human drama and stuff, it kind of humanizes them, or makes them seem a little bit more charming or real, because they've got this another weird side to them. But those big tonal shifts are really common in more Asian cinema, and I wonder if that's Disney trying to say, let's do more of that. Can we do like a dance number at the end? It's like they really would love to.
Well, I mean, with Marvel, I think they're all in on, everyone has a quip ready, loaded and ready to go. Everyone's got the funny little one-liner. and that gets exhausting after a while.
Yeah, you got to be careful because then it just turns into Friends or like a
you might as well have a laugh track.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it has that setup and punchline kind of thing, or it's not really a setup. You're just kind of waiting for okay, how are you going to undercut this like sincere line that somebody just said? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen The Bear?
No, I haven't. I keep my cousin was a big fan, but
it's really good. Mm-hmm. Strongly recommend if you like real world mundane drama type stuff. Mm-hmm. Strongly recommend. It is fucking hilarious, and they are not even trying to be funny.
Oh wow!
Like it's just it's very human, like real, and so that makes it really funny because they invest in the characters.
Nice.
I would really love to see some of this Marvel stuff pivot back to that kind of thing, but it's Marvel, so it's never going to happen.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think they've got their formula, but yeah, we'll see. It's not, I mean, as long if they can get free of that, Joss Whedon kind of thing, because I think he convinced both Warner Brothers and Disney that was like the way every movie needs to be made. Everybody has to have their wacky little relationships and their wacky little comebacks.
And it's so weird because like I'm a big Firefly fan, and I feel like there was a lot of humor and sarcasm in Firefly, but the dialogue was written well. Like I think it was written better than most of the Marvel's dialogue, and I don't understand if he just got lazy or I don't know what the deal was with that.
Yeah, I know what you mean though. It doesn't. Yeah, it definitely seems like it's like he almost just started becoming a parody of his own style. Like he kind of forgot what the drama was rooted in, and just like, oh yeah, well I can't. Yeah, well this comic book stuff has to happen, so I'll just punch it up with some jokes. Yeah.
Yeah. Miguel said there have been accusations of whitewashing Doom.
Oh, what? So Doom
Isn't
is
he like
German,
European guy?
Yeah, there's some. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting
some made up little country in Europe, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, all one of those
Moravia or something.
Yeah, like a fantasy Eastern European kind of thing. Yeah, I wonder what the take is going to be.
Real Doom isn't Real Doom like. It's been a long time since I read a comic book that had Dr. Doom in it, but isn't he like actually horribly disfigured?
Yeah, he's fucked up under the mask, so he should never take it off. We should never see Robert Downey Jr. Just his performance. Yeah.
Right, but even if he did, he wouldn't probably look like Robert Downey Jr. Right?
No, he'll definitely have the Tony Stark goatee, and we probably and the sunglasses. I'm Dr. Victor Von Doom.
Wow. The knowing wink at the camera.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I wonder because they've the last couple of Doctor Doom appearances in the weird the Fox or whatever that first try was, and then the Josh Trank one. Those were really weird takes on the character. So I hope they can do better. Oh, his Roman was Romani. Oh, I see. Yeah, they're gonna have. Yeah, they'll sidestep any kind of politically sensitive. Origin.
And I think there's other multiverse versions of Doom too, where it's somebody else. Like it's. I can't remember who it was. It was somebody. Maybe it was Tony Stark. I don't know, but it was somebody else became Doom or something. I don't. Comic books retcon and multiverse so much that it's pretty exhausting.
Well, I think in the recent storyline, Doctor Doom is the Sorcerer Supreme, so he's like he's wearing like Doctor Strange's cape and stuff. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but hopefully they'll do, because they're gonna do some Doctor Doom introduction thing, and then they're gonna do Secret Wars. So hopefully they can do something fun with that. That's that has a little. Inspirations from the comics, but they do their own kind of like anodyne thing where they just kind of distill it all down to that Disney Marvel stuff. But I really think the Russo brothers are incredibly overrated. I think they just really got lucky. They got handed that 10-year, whatever, 15-year thing just at the right time. And when they did the Winter Soldier, it was a nice change of pace. It's like, oh, Marvel can actually do like Jason Bourne kind of stuff, Bourne Identity. Oh, okay, that's pretty fun. That's different. I like that. And yeah, then they just got handed they got to run the bases. Like somebody else hit the home run, and they got to run the bases.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Winter Soldier was like the Marvel Andor,
Yeah, right.
It's like, why can't there be more stuff like this? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so we'll see what. That's years away. Years away. Hey, Austin Turner, thank you for the sub. Hello. Welcome aboard. We're just complaining about not being at GenCon. Yeah, it's funny. There's not, like a tabletop convention in Japan. I'm sure there's tabletop among the board game. There's like game markets, these big game market things, but it's just for people to sell, kind of direct sell to audiences, to people here. So
are there hobby shops?
Yeah, there's and some of the hobby shops, they'll break it up so you're not like dealing with too much too much of one hobby. They'll have like, this is the RPG and like trading card game little part of it, and then another shop across the street will have the this is all the collectible toys and stuff, and the other one, this is all Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever, it's all the card battlers. Yeah, they'll kind of break things up. It's amazing though, the shops that used to carry RPGs that would be about half English, half Japanese, now they're all Japanese because there's so much more localization now. Like Hobby Japan and a lot of the companies here are working really hard to translate. So you've got D&D 5e, but you also have a lot, all the Call of Cthulhu, like decades of Call of Cthulhu expansions and stuff. You've got a lot of stuff now, Traveler, and a lot of stuff that's all in Japanese, which was wasn't the case. A lot of people were just struggling. They had to use English, or they had to use like fan translations of stuff. Yeah, both board games and tabletop have gotten a lot of support for localizing.
We're never gonna get that other Cthulhu game in English, are we?
I don't know. Yeah, we've got the Word doc from but we got to talk to the creator, because he's doing the Luna City, like, what is it, Luna City Blues. He's doing the Mutant Chronicles kind of horror detective game. Yeah, we got to see like what state, because they announced that, and that was a couple of years ago now. We got to check in and see how he's doing with that. Yeah, that'd be really fun, because that's how they started out. The 2D20, that's the first setting for the campaign, and that's really fun because it's when all stuff is going, you're just cops and everything's going to shit, and you're like, what's happening, what's going on? Why is everything possessed? Why are all electronics now possessed by demons? Yeah, it's kind of the fall of technology.
Ghostbusters with power armor.
Yeah, right. Right. Nice. Yeah, I like that setting a lot. Yeah, I've been looking at a lot at because they just did a new Kickstarter, the Slay Industries stuff, and I think Slay Industries, the Nightfall games, I think they were kind of the spiritual successor when Mutant Chronicles went away. I think they were kind of trying to do that thing. I mean, their world is even cranked up a little bit higher. Like, it's like one corporation controls everything, and everything's all fucked, and everything's all demons, and it's all aliens that have been subjugated by this corporation, and you have to work for the corporation. Like, the players are, you're working for the corp. But it does have that same feel. It's just like big guns and power armor and killing aliens, for a paycheck kind of stuff.
So is it a new edition that they're doing?
No, they just did source books. I think they're just supporting, because supporting, like, there's cults and things, because it's like the corporation is trying to stomp out. I don't have a super clear understanding of the setting, but the corporation kind of tried to stamp out all religion and subjugate kind of all alien races and just like occupy planets. So even like the original people on the original aliens on the planet that they took over for their kind of corporate world, they've kind of hunted them down and kind of enslaved them to this really weak level. But all that stuff is starting to come back, and there's a cult, like a religious cult, like a demonic cult, that is kind of on the rise. So that's where a lot of the the horrific stuff comes from, and that's your job, to crawl sewers and kill demons and cultists. Yeah. But
I'm down. Let's do it.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun. Yeah, I'd like to give that a shot because it's a D10 system. Yeah, it's you're rolling D10s. Similar, I think they use a similar system to the Terminator game that they did as well. Oh, that's another thing that might be fun to play too. Some Terminator. Oh man.
I'd rather play Pirate Borg.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Pirate Borg. Yeah.
Or Alien.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really.
Or go back to Blade Runner. Oh, so many things.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we've got a third chapter coming, a third act, third case file. So what do you think they're changing in Alien? Do you think they're going to mess with the stress mechanics, or what do you think they're going to?
So actually, I was going to ask you because I haven't played it.
Oh, okay.
So, is it the newer version of Year Zero where they're raising the dice types rather than the quantity of dice, or is it?
No, it's all D6s. Yeah, and you're rolling.
It is D6s. Yeah. So I wonder if they're going to change that to more like the Blade Runner style.
Oh, that's right. Because then, that might be nice. Yeah, because I've heard the only complaint I've heard about that system is if the players are really kind of organized and kind of. You can break the system a little bit and just kind of gang up on a xenomorph, and they're supposed to be, really formidable. When I was running it, I tried to make them as like terrifying and suddenly appearing and is imposing as possible. But I heard people talking about in some of their groups they just surrounded them with the heavy weapons and just like wailed on the alien until it was dead. And there's like only one alien in the cinematic adventure, so it's like, oh, okay, I guess you win. It's like really really odd because it's supposed to be, that shouldn't happen because all of the players have agendas. They have their like hidden agendas, so they don't want to, they want to survive, or they want to bring a sample back, or they have a lot of complicated kind of opposing motives, and so that sort of thing shouldn't happen. But I don't know. I wonder. So the for the cinematic adventures, the agendas work really well. Maybe, I don't know, doing some sort of mechanical benefit or something. Like if you meet a condition in one of the acts of the adventure, meeting a condition, you have some sort of mechanical benefit might be interesting. Like you'll reduce stress. Like if you're doing things the way you need to do them, you'll be a little more resistant to stress or damage or something. That might be kind of interesting because it's all role play. Like the agendas are all role play. So it's that would be an interesting change.
Don't they already have some kind of, I don't know what it's called, like an improvement point or something that carries over from Act 1 to Act 2? And even if your character dies, you can keep that point.
Yes.
Kind of thing?
Right. Yeah. I forget what it's called, but yeah, there is a currency that that benefits you. Yeah.
That's good in a game where fatalities are probably likely.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that was interesting too, because I was in the one game that the one session that Chris ran. I think it was the Hadley's Hope cinematic adventure. My character died like Act 2, so Act 3 I got handed one of the extra NPCs, and their agenda was like, fuck everybody. It's like get the samples. You hid eggs on the ship. Kill everybody and get the ship somewhere where the samples can be recovered. And I was like, oh shit. So it was this really tense thing where it's like I'm kind of working my way into the cockpit. I hope nobody really notices that I'm, look like I'm going to take over. Yeah, it was really
that's awesome.
Really funny to get one of those players like mid agenda, so it doesn't build. Like I think that's the thing that they did well with the first few cinematic adventures. It's the agenda's built well too. And that was the thing I was a little confused about when I ran that first session, the first cinematic adventure. When the players were picking their pre-gen characters, I showed them the 3 agendas because I wanted them to be comfortable with like the role-playing choices that they had to do. Like I wanted them to be able to be the traitor or the protector or whatever. But I got a lot of criticism for that. It's like, oh no, that should all be surprising. It's like, but what if that could really catch a player at the table off guard, and like I don't want to do this, you know, and so it's kind of defeats the mechanic.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Like, you want to have that kind of paranoia element, so you don't want everyone to know everything if you can avoid it. But you don't want anyone to be like, "This is lame. I don't want to do this."
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be a role playing snob, but I feel like if you're really into the role play part of role playing games, and maybe this is an OSR thing. You can kind of roll with the punches on that. Like, okay, well, this might not be my first choice, but this is what I'm role playing. So let's have some fun with it. Like, when you were talking about them ganging up and killing the xenomorph, that feels very meta. That feels like these people are just playing to win. They're not thinking about like character action or motivation. You know,
Yeah, so I wonder, and maybe that's, I don't know. Yeah. And it might just be, I think the thing that they could fix with second edition is make a campaign make sense. You know, make a campaign seem like it had some trajectory, and, you know, there was a purpose to play multiple sessions, not just a 3-act cinematic adventure, you know, with a lot of death, but, you know, put something in the game that kind of made campaign, because, you know, they talked about, you know, you can play both ways, but just in the core book there wasn't really enough to like, well, what would I do in a campaign? I would just like keep walking around looking for aliens. You know? It's like, nope, still no aliens. You find any? Nope, me neither. Okay, keep looking. So that might be a thing that it's not really a mechanical thing, but I think that could be fixed is just kind of like focus people on, this is what a campaign would be. It would be establishing a colony, or it would be fighting, you know, corporate wars, like giving them some, you know, some things that Marines would be doing, instead of just, smaller, because they work well in cinematic adventures, but make them make sense in a longer, you know, with downtime and interactions and stuff.
Yeah,
I wonder. We will find out. It won't be long, just a few months, and I'm sure if you pledge, there'll be a quick start that we'll be able to take a look at very early on. Yeah, I'm curious to go back to Star Trek sometime just to see the changes that they made, kind of making it, eliminating the D6s and the changes that they made in the second edition of that as well.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I like those weekly adventures a lot. That was the episodic kind of thing we were doing. That was fun.
That was fun. It was, I don't know, like, I feel like that game's cool, but maybe hard to develop like a kind of like an arc for your character, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Well, that's something I wonder if they did in the second edition, is do some sort of experience or something, because, you know, you can be promoted within Starfleet and stuff, but you really don't grow. Like, your character doesn't your career, you can climb in your career a little bit, but you don't become more capable. You know, you're basically as capable as you're ever going to be when you create the character in Star Trek. So I wonder if that's something, because that was a big complaint. People that had played previous Star Trek RPGs, they're like, I can't level up. It's like, well, that's so they may address that as well. I wonder. Oh yeah, so Rob was saying, so maybe that's the game. If we don't want to embrace the playstyle, maybe the game's not for us. Yeah, I think that's a good.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm just a glutton for punishment. Kind of like the board game we were talking about off air. It's like, I'm going to finish the game.
I'm not going to be happy about it, but
I might not go back to it ever again. But
right. Nice. I was just going to play. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. Yes, Clarion, our Star Trek streams are available. We've got 9 sessions, so a lot of them are some of them are 2-parters, and some of them are actually a single session, some of the adventures. Let me get you a URL. Come There we go. Yeah, I'll put this in the chat. Yeah, so this is the URL for the playlist for Star Trek, and you can hear me screw up the star dates repeatedly. It's like, especially Terry's like, that don't make no sense. Every time I get the start, it's like, wait, what? I just used a website that converted the date into a star date. I don't know if it was those were Foundry. That's right.
Don't they kind of Foundry fake those star dates a lot of the time anyway?
I mean, so. I think in the original series they did. I think they got more serious in the later series, and then it changes. Different series do it differently, because I think you can do a year, month, and day kind of thing as well. Yeah. No, I think you're right. But yeah, just listen to my made up star dates. I don't even know if they were sequential, because they were like, wait, is this before or after the last session?
4960, whatever.
Dash. Yeah, right. Some numbers.
I think it'd be fun to go back and play an old school original series one, and not pussyfoot around. Be all the big things. Be the captain, the first officer.
Oh, yeah.
The chief medical officer or the engineer or something. You know what I mean?
Okay, let's do that. Yeah. That would
be fun.
Yeah, that would be very, very cool. Nice. Hey, Carolina, how's it going? Nice. Oh, yeah. Rob said, when I ran the West End game Star Wars, guys ended up waging war against the stormtroopers instead of escaping with the droid. Nice. Totally made a mockery of the system and the module. Yeah.
Star Wars is tough. I briefly ran an Outer Rim game with the Fantasy Flight stuff, and just having a spaceship with guns on it,
right.
It totally changes everything.
And no prime directive.
Yeah, no prime directive. It's like literally like they solve things by just flying to where they're supposed to go and threatening people with their laser guns. You know what I mean? It's just like, you're not really in the spirit of this, guys, but
yeah,
I do see the flaw here. Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's a compliment I definitely have to give you, Will, and Terry. Is you guys like always commit to like what the game is trying to do. Like you're not trying to, you're not playing too meta, or you're not just trying to, like min max the rules, or my character is going to hit hard. I'm going to be dropping grenades, all the time, because when you're not kind of committing to what the characters would be doing, or what you're trying to cooperatively do, if you're not going to cooperate, it does just fall apart. And you guys, it's so funny because we've done so many different settings. We've gone from John Carter, like hardcore kind of pulp, like duel and kill everybody, to Star Trek, the more like you got to negotiate everything, to Blade Runner, where it's like, oh, you're a replicant, I can kill you now. So you guys have like done switched between all of those roles really well. It's been really fun.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Robert actually brought something up. I'm really excited about the old West End Star Wars D6 system. Is coming back as a universal system. They're going to kickstart it.
Oh.
And yeah, I'm super stoked.
That's cool.
And they're leaning into it. They're literally saying, yeah, you roll a ton of dice in this game. I'm like, yeah, old school.
Wow, nice. So that
was the thing about that system. It was a kind of a dice pool system, and you just chucked a ton of 6-sideds.
Oh, that's cool. Is West End Games still exist, or are they owned by somebody? Like, do you know?
I honestly, I was so excited. I didn't really pay attention to the company behind it.
Right. I hope it's somebody good. Yeah. I hope it's somebody at least going to let it do its thing.
Yeah. I signed up like for the email notification about it. So once I get more info, I'll just send it to you.
Okay. Cool.
And the other thing that it is not a real product, but people keep talking about it, and it got me thinking about it a lot. Have you heard about Banehammer?
No.
So Banehammer is the same people are doing where they're playing Warhammer, with Dragonbane rules.
Oh.
Yeah, and so like
Wow.
there's a guy on the Dragonbane Facebook group that's been talking about he's running the whole Enemy Within campaign with modified Dragonbane
Oh,
rules.
okay, okay. That's cool. So
And
fantasy,
I'm
Warhammer
like,
Fantasy. Wow.
yeah, Warhammer Fantasy. And I'm
Nice.
like, yeah, that's
Oh yeah.
cool.
Yeah, because that campaign is awesome. Yeah, that would be real because it was fun. It was really fun to run with Warlock. I mean, I think it worked, and I think Warlock was built to do that. Like it's specifically said, this is '80s British role play that we're trying to emulate. But
Hmm.
yeah, that would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could be cool. I'm really curious. I didn't want to bombard the guy with questions, but I'm immediately like, all right, how do you handle changing careers?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
How do you handle gunpowder weapons? How do you handle like mutations and insanity? All this stuff. I'm like, I really want to hear how they're doing it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That could be great. Yeah, the corruption mechanic and stuff. Yeah, that could be really really good. Um, wow. Yeah, if that happens, if somebody releases that, if that makes its way to itch or somewhere, there's some rule set, we gotta give that a shot.
Hmm.
Wow, nice. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Oh yeah, that's another thing. The source book for it's the Age of Sigmar game that Cubicle 7 is doing, but they're the Cursed City setting. I can't remember the name of the city, like Wolfenburg or something, whatever the name of the city is. But kind of the cursed city, the haunted city. That's like it's very like Strahd, kind of
Hmm.
feeling because there's a vampire kind of like a vampire lord like running controlling the whole place. That would be fun to do with Warlock rules as well. I'd like to run. There's a couple of mechanics that they add, but I'm not crazy about the whatever it's called. It's not Wrath and Glare. Wrath and Glare is the 40k one, but whatever they're. Or I guess it's no. I guess it's just the. No, it's the Age of Sigmar game. I don't know. Yeah, what that's called. It's not their 4th edition Warhammer Fantasy. It's their new Age of Sigmar. But that setting is pretty cool. It's got some really interesting. The way it's shifting. The dangers are shifting, and it's very like gothic horror. Yeah, that would be fun.
Just that city specifically, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. The set that city.
Soulbound.
Soulbound, that's right. Yeah, so for Soulbound, they specifically say in the well, yeah, I can't remember, I can't remember the name of the city, but in that setting for that source book, you can't play as Stormcast Eternals or any of the very powerful classes. You're basically playing the lowly elf, dwarf, and human roles that don't have superpowers against evil and demons and undead. So it's a little grittier, a little closer to a little closer to Warhammer Fantasy. But they have had some interesting rules for kind of like a curse, like there's a rising kind of a threat where things become more dangerous and more cursed. So that would be
Hmm.
that would be fun. Yes, lots of stuff.
All right, but I'm not a big Age of Sigmar fan. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
tell you that right
Oh yeah, no,
now.
no, we definitely run it like Warhammer Fantasy. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to, run the whole yeah, Age of Sigmar. Yeah, it's still, I don't think they've still kind of what they're like on 4th edition or whatever. They're like they've gotten pretty far through editions and they still don't have their lore kind of worked out terribly well. It's still they're still improvising. Yeah, but there's something that whole city setting is pretty cool. It's pretty horrific.
Is it just a? Are they just saying that? Like, is it the vampire counts? Is it just like some of the vampires from the old world
Uh,
made it
no, it's
or something?
it's specifically one character. The what's it called? The wolf or whatever. Yeah, it's let's see if I can find the Ulf. Oh, there we go. Ulfenkarn. Yeah, Ulfenkarn. So it's the one main baddie, but there's a lot of like I think they're original characters. I don't think they're characters from existing characters from fantasy. I think they made original characters because the that Cursed City, that failed board game that they were trying to do. They're trying to do like a Warhammer Warhammer board game with the cursed fantasy setting, but the city itself looked really good.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's another. Well, yeah, Ulfenkarn. Yeah, so a lot of undead and a lot of so city at the edge of death. Of course. Yeah, so they're calling this specifically the grim. It's a grim and perilous adventure setting. So yeah, they're stripping away a lot of the heroic stuff from Age of Sigmar, Soulbound.
They brought back grim and perilous, huh?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, Radikar the Wolf watches over the city. So yeah, there's a big bad, and then a lot of and like the city guard and everything are just skeletons. Yeah, so they go over the top with all the kind of gothic horror. Yeah, but I'll take a look at that book and see how well that would adapt to Warlock, or even if Banehammer works, that would be very cool too, because that system's really fun. Yeah, if they get the corruption and stuff, working. Very cool. Have you played? Did you play through the original the original Warhammer Fantasy campaign, the Enemy
Within?
Yeah, Enemy Within.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I ran it.
Oh, cool. Cool.
I've ran the whole thing once, and then I've ran the first two parts. Well, is the first part just called Enemy Within?
I think it's Shadow over Bogenhofen. Yeah,
I thought that was the second part.
Oh, is that?
Isn't there an introductory one before that?
Oh yeah, there might. Yeah, there might be. Yeah. I think with the re-release when they did it for they called the yeah. But I think I know what you mean on the original.
Anyway, I run the first part of it more or less through Shadows over Bogenhofen. I run that like 4 times, I think.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, and did you run it? Was it second edition Warhammer Fantasy, or was it 4th edition? Which?
The time I did the whole thing, it was second edition.
Oh, cool.
And then I think second edition one more time for the first part, and then I used the new one, 4th edition, after that.
Okay, cool.
Which 4th edition's not bad. It has this weird its advantage system, which is not unlike Momentum in 2D20. It's a little much. Like I'm kind of disappointed they haven't done a revision and changed it. It gets a little clunky, and most people house rule it, or because you build up this advantage every time you like succeed in combat, and it can just get ridiculous because you're comparing your stack of advantage kind of to other people's, and I don't know. It was a little much, but the other parts of it I liked. It has a neat social caste sort of system.
Oh yeah.
Where you're ranked was like bronze, silver, gold, I think, and it has rules for downtime, which I kind of like, because when I used to run the old 1st and 2nd edition, I had my own stupid little downtime homebrew stuff I would do, because people expect. I think with a game like that where you have careers and you're changing careers, there needs to be some kind of downtime. There needs to be like,
yeah.
All right, well, am I really in this career? Then I should be doing something with it, and like.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But sorry, I hate Warhammer Magic. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't like the color magic at all. I think it's kind of boring, and I would change that in a heartbeat if I could.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, it's Rob's got some experience too with
he doesn't like the Medicare and CE.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. That's why I was confused. Yeah, Rob saying the modern version combines enemy within and shadows into one. Yeah, that's not separate. But you're right. Yeah, that is the. Yeah, because that's right. Because you do the coach thing. Yeah, it's the whole thing with
Mm-hmm.
the coach. Yeah, it was enemy within before you get to the city. That's right. Yeah. Dice apps. Yeah, that's the interesting thing. I think the dice rolling in Alchemy is satisfying and it works well, especially because you can put if it's custom dice, you can put the icons or the symbols that are on the dice in the roller, and you don't need that 3D scatter across the screen of the VTT, so it saves resources. Yeah, dramatically, because we've had such mixed results with Foundry. Sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's custom, sometimes it isn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It is a little satisfying to see the dice rolling around,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it doesn't always work. And I still don't understand how come we sometimes we'll open up those character sheets and the actions are the way we expect them to be, and other times they look completely different.
Right. Yeah. I think it's open source development. Yeah, it's like third party unofficial stuff. So, they made it, they tested it. It seems to be working, but yeah, there's probably bugs and stuff. We've got stuff loaded that's conflicting with it, because especially a lot of things like WordPress or whatever. When you're loading modules and plugins and stuff, there is stuff that conflicts that the developers never address, and especially if it's like computer science majors at university and stuff, they kind of get disinterested in their projects after a while. So yeah, I think that's always a problem. Oh yeah, for Warhammer Fantasy, yeah, fate points are enough.
Oh yeah, and I forgot. He totally reminded me. I forgot about they have other derived stats that are twice as many as you really need.
Oh really? Yeah.
What are they called? They're called like resolve and resistance,
Oh.
and two other ones that I'm
Uh-huh.
blanking on right now. But it's like they're kind of redundant, and they
Mm-hmm.
weren't in the old versions of the game.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, maybe just to differentiate it enough. Interesting. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Rob was saying using Cthulhu Dark Ages to run a dark fantasy campaign instead of D&D.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, that would be kind of neat. There's a couple of those Cthulhu variants I'm very interested in. The ancient Roman one, I think
Oh
sounds
yeah,
fun.
the cohorts Cthulhu, the
Uh-huh.
Modifius one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that sounds kind of fun. I've never really gotten to do a real weird war kind of setting. It would be fun to do something like
Oh
that.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the Octung Cthulhu. There was somebody that just thanked us for posting the John Carter stuff, and they said they were running Octung Cthulhu. There's a ton. They develop a lot of stuff for that. It's got a lot of. So I think that's the original passion project of Modifius is that's their original IP. Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, there was. Yeah, that came up. There is something else that I just saw. A newer thing that was Weird War, Cthulhu-y kind of stuff. There was Oh, we should. Yeah. There's a couple of things. There's that World War One, No Way Home. The where it's like the World War One kind of wasteland, and but things have gotten all the soldiers you're kind of lost in this wasteland, and the soldiers, some of them have gained powers, and so your character classes and stuff, you can actually control dark magic and things, and there's interesting threats. Yeah, that's that Wet Ink Games.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really cool. That has a really fun
It's
weird.
called No Way Home.
It's let me I don't think it, no, I think it's something like that. I'm confusing it with the Peter Jackson documentary, maybe.
Is it Never Going
Never
Home?
Going Home. Thank you. There we go. Yeah, Never Going Home.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah, take a look at that. Yeah, I've got a lot of the books for that. Yeah, that might be a fun Weird War one. It's more, more Cthulhu, more elder gods, not like weird, sci-fi tech or anything. But I like the idea of like being lost in the wasteland and it going completely crazy on you. Never going home.
Kind of like the Twilight 2000 thing, but set in World War One.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised they haven't done like Free League hasn't done a supplement for Twilight 2000 that adapts it to like either a supernatural thing or like a alien apocalypse kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, I wonder, do you think is that a license thing? Or they
with Twilight 2000?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah. Wonder what Yeah, I wonder why.
Because I ran that for my local group here for a while, and it felt like some of them got it and some of them were not really. They weren't plugging into how it was supposed to be like a desperate survival kind of thing. They were just trying to murder Hobo because they had a machine gun.
Right. Right. We got a Jeep. We got a machine gun. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I see. I'm going to screw this up. There we go. Cool. Nice.
Well, I hate to be that guy.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah.
Keeping up on midnight here.
I gotcha. No, I appreciate it. It was a super last minute, too. I didn't mean to spring that on you, but yeah, Chris had to cancel. Like, I was on the train, and I was like, oh, no. But, yeah, I really appreciate it. And I'm going to keep you up late again tomorrow, too, I promise. We're going to do
okay. Yeah, so go watch Kel make horrible decisions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clarion, you're going to be there when Kel finally fucks up for the last time?
Commits to the full, machines that look like made in the image of man thing. Goes against the great convention, the Butlerian Jihad. We're going to have a second jihad because of Kel. Great.
Right.
Thanks a lot. Nice. All right. Well, thanks, Matt, and thank you to everyone watching. So members and patrons, really appreciate your support, and we will be back again tomorrow with some Dune. One player short, but we'll do a little side adventure, a little side quest, and so we will be back again soon. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Yeah, everybody.
Goodbye.